Yo, welcome back to Bliss Package. I'm your host, JUS Blaze. What's going on, fellas? Happy J5. What's up, Night?
What's happening with you?
Night, man. You know, it's a great day out here in the streets. NFL, man. It ain't a whole lot to talk about when it comes to playoffs. All the playoff teams are pretty much set. But they got a couple moving and shaking going on, a couple little twerks here and there. You know, it's like a coffee. You got to put a little more sugar in it, put a little cream in it, make sure it's just right. But before we get all of that, man, look, I got a hot take, man. Got a hot take. It's gonna take a second. It's not gonna take a second. I'm just gonna BS about it. But I don't like the call that Philadelphia has made. Benching Saquon. I don't like it. I don't like it. The man need 100 yards to break the record. You let him get a record and pull him out. The record's been standing for 40 years. Hell, we 40 years old. Knock the record down. I know what it is. He got PTSD because last year in the game that really didn't mean a whole lot for them. AJ Brown got hurt, and then they had Brown for the playoff game. I understand that. And you worried about Saquon getting hurt. I got nothing but respect for that. Don't let that man get that record.
I know this may not be applicable to the scenario, but it may be in his contract that he's incentivized to break the record, which means Philadelphia gonna have to come off those cabbages.
So you telling me it might have been a play of sit him so we don't have to pay his bread?
You've seen it before, man.
Mm.
And
Okay.
you know, now that we are in the playoff contention, a lot of players are, because they're playing in the playoffs or they've met certain goals throughout the year, their contracts are now incentivized. So if some of them get an extra 25 catches or 100 yards or whatever the case may be, they get anywhere from 100K to 500K to $1 million just per game. I mean, somebody gonna have to come off from cabbages.
You're right. Somebody was talking about that. Anna was talking about incentivizations and things like that yesterday. I saw and brought a particular quarterback. You know, I don't like Seattle, but Gino only need like 185 yards to get a $2 million incentive. I hope he get the 185 yards today. I hope he throw for like 210, so there ain't no question, and get that man his money. I don't like Seattle. I hope they lose, but still, he could have a great performance and lose at the same time.
Bro, all you need is 5 to 10 yards at a time.
Dink it and dunk it. Let it go. Let's go. So, do you think it's the right decision to bench him? No.
No.
Outside of football, outside of money. No. Okay. Well, you know, Kansas City benching a lot of people today too. They said Chris Jones ain't gonna play. Patrick Mahomes is not gonna play. Quite a few people are not gonna play today.
Does their game matter?
It does, but not for them.
Right.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. I think it does for in the long run. And hear me on this. Follow me down the yellow brick road on this one. Okay. Everybody for the AFC playoff picture is 6 out of the 7 teams are locked, no matter what. There's a couple seeding issues in there may change by people win or lose today. But if Denver wins today, which Denver is playing Kansas City, it keeps Cincinnati out. Period. If they win, Cincinnati is out, no questions. Okay, but if they lose to Kansas City, and for some reason, you know, possibly that Easy's Jets pull off a win against Miami today, which Tua ain't playing, which should be easy for them to possibly do. If Miami and Denver lose today, guess who gets in the playoff and gets that last spot? Cincinnati Bengals. Who's the only team that been able to go in Arrowhead and beat Kansas City, Cincinnati Bengals.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter to them because they can give the game to Denver.
And keep Cincinnati out.
And they've done their portion.
Okay. Because it don't matter what happens with New York and Miami. If Denver wins today, Cincinnati is out, period. And Denver's in. Okay. I think it's a setup too. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a setup. You know, I'm not a Joe Burrow fan, but I think it's a setup to keep that Cincinnati offense out of the playoffs.
But you know, you give Denver Broncos a couple of dollars, they might go ahead and throw the game themselves.
Hey, it's possible.
Or specifically, if it's a low-scoring game and it's within a field goal, pay attention to that.
Hey, everybody be watching the Kansas City Denver game today. Watch, I guarantee it. Everybody seat watching. And unfortunately, now hold on, I gotta get into this. Last night, the only reason this is in play is because last night Cincinnati beat Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh lost that game solely because for George Pickens. And I wish PAT was here so I can tell him what I've told him all the time. This dude is not that guy. This dude dropped 2 wide open deep passes that would pretty much put Pittsburgh in position to win the game. And one, if he had caught it, he would have been by himself going to the end zone. Unless there had been a secret ghost on the field, a secret tree come up and grab him from the ground, he would have went directly to the end zone. They would have won the game. And you know, PAT like to defend some of these receivers and don't like my take on him. But I wish he was here so I could tell him, look, George Pickens is not that guy. Even Inferno, who went to the school he went to, was like, he is not that guy.
Hey, everybody ain't able, brother.
Yeah, but I just had to talk about it, man. Because that game last night.
Answer this question for me.
You got questions? I don't like that.
Did Pittsburgh have a winning season?
Of course, that's a Coach Tomlin team, and he don't have no losing season. He's an achiever at the highest level. Okay,
that's all that matters.
Wait, that's all that matters. But know something, that the seeding matter, because now with them losing that game, if the Chargers win today, that means Pittsburgh would go down to the 6th seed, and that means they would have to go to Baltimore in the first round of the playoff. And the Chargers are probably going to win today. They're playing the Raiders.
Okay. You're worrying about seeding, but follow me now. Just follow me. Just follow me for giggles.
Okay, I got you.
Just follow me, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're concerned about seeding, some teams and/or programs may just want to get a different seed to ensure that when they are successful in winning or getting to the Super Bowl, there's no question asked because they had a long road they had to travel to get to the Super Bowl.
Okay, I follow you. I follow you on that one. I got you on that one. And I know you hitting that on that one. I got you. I got you. I got you. Long, rough and rugged. Like I say. But let's just talk about the AFC picture real quick.
Okay.
Let's say Denver wins.
All right.
Okay. Let's say Denver wins.
I'll say it. Denver wins.
Okay.
That's
cool.
it.
Okay. And the Chargers win because they're playing Raiders. The Chargers win. Okay. So that means the first round of playoffs will be Denver will have to go to Buffalo.
Terrible.
Okay. Pittsburgh will have to go to Baltimore.
Terrible.
And even though their record will probably be exactly the same, the Chargers would have to go to Houston.
Not bad.
Not bad. So, do you think these matchups favor the home teams or the away teams? Or rather, is there any away team that poses a threat to beat a home team. Because if you're asking me, it will only be the Chargers. Because I don't think Pittsburgh is going to be able to go into Baltimore and win.
I don't know that defense, like Baltimore defense after last night, man. They looking different.
Yeah, they'd be looking different. And the biggest thing is that they move Hamilton. They move Hamilton from nickel and they moved him back to safety, and it's changed their secondary in a big way. It's changed the way their secondary has been playing, and everything. And that's my problem. Pittsburgh don't have any wide receiver threats.
True.
Since Antonio Brown, since Santana Holmes and everything, they have not had no wide receiver threats, in my opinion. They've had a receiver here and then have one good season, but they haven't had a wide receiver threats in probably almost a decade. Well, no, I mean Antonio ain't been out the league a decade. He probably been out what six years, or been away from Pittsburgh at least 5-6 years at most.
Yeah, maybe about 5.
So they haven't had a threat at wide receiver, and the way that Baltimore's defense is running, I don't see Pittsburgh going in there. I don't see Denver going into Buffalo and winning. I mean, Josh Allen's on a mission. But because of all the wide receiver injuries in Houston, I can see the Chargers going to Houston and pulling off an upset.
Hey. We're going to see. Because more so than the college, NFL, man, it's tricky because you mess with more money and more sensitive players.
Fair. But everybody get in the playoff. Once they get in the playoff, everybody turns a switch. Usually, once you get the playoff, that sensitivity go away because everybody trying to get that one thing. That one thing is the Super Bowl ring. All that sensitive stuff happen in the season time. When it gets to playoffs, ain't too many players out there being a little sensitive. They can check it.
Yeah, you got to get there first, man.
That's true. Well, speaking of get there, let's go over to the NFC. Now, the NFC playoffs are set for as people go and set one division. I know it's near and dear to your heart, sir. You know the division. NFC South. Okay? Another division that is the division winners have rotated on a pretty consistent basis. It's down to Tampa. Win and you in. Tampa got to beat New Orleans and they in. If they lose, I think if I'm correct, if they lose the game, Atlanta's in regardless of whether they beat Carolina or not today.
Yeah.
But it's all down to Tampa. If you win the game, you in the playoffs. If not, you give the division to Atlanta and playoffs are set. If there's some seeded issue, which we're gonna get to that next game, because that next game is going to decide a seed. But what do you think, man? Bucks gonna be able to pull off this winning against the Aints today, as you call them?
Man, look here. I think the Bucks have the capacity to win. Will they win? I don't know. Because it's like they haven't really handled business well all season long. And if you had handled business, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah. The only thing I can guarantee the Bucks do today is get Mike Williams his 1,000 yards. Because he needs, Mike Evans. Mike Evans need 90 yards to get 1,000, which means he's had 1,000 yards every season he's been in the league.
But how well does that translate to anything else? Contract incentives.
It translates to him. It translates contract incentives to his career. It translates into what I foresee as a gold jacket.
I can buy you a gold jacket, man.
Man, come on, don't do that. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay,
I don't.
I put it like this: you got Shannon Sharp in there, but not Sterling Sharp.
Hold on, I can't agree with that, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna say that. Because they haven't put players whose careers were affected by injuries at a high level into the Hall of Fame. Because if you put Shannon Sharp in, you got to put Bo in. Okay, but Bo and Sterling Sharp, I'm sorry, Sterling Sharp and Bo are not in because their careers were short lived due to major injuries.
But you had a guy playing two sports.
No, I'm. Hey, look, I get what you're saying, but they're trying to be. I guess they're trying to be even across the board about what allows you to get in. It's got to be longevity and stats. Just not stats alone. You understand what I'm saying?
They get nitpicky now because a lot of these old heads that are in the Hall of Fame don't have long careers. If you do, you're fact checking. But yeah, I digress. We're gonna see. Like, I hope the Saints don't handle business today, and I really think that Jacksonville is no longer going to play. But I'm just saying, like, I just had to throw the Jaguars in there, just throw a jab at somebody.
Wow.
But no, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. I wish you would have handled business better. Maybe even beat the Cowgirls. But I wish I would have handled business a little better. I don't know. Like, between the Atlanta Falcons and my Carolina Panthers, that's gonna be a pretty decent game. But if Tampa Bay doesn't win, Falcons already going. So it's a lot riding on this game, Tampa Bay. I know pressure bust pipes, but y'all gonna need to get it going, brother.
It also make diamonds, but okay, okay. Let's go to a more intriguing matchup. Okay,
Okay.
because tonight's game between Detroit and Minnesota. Okay, they're both in the playoffs. This game is all about seeding. The winner gets the number 1 seed. The loser gets the number 5 seed. Okay, winner gets home field advantage. The loser gets first game home field. Have to play an extra game, and eventually gonna have to if you make it to the where you're trying to make it to, gonna have to play each other again. It's more important that Detroit win this game tonight, but I don't think they can. But I'm gonna tell you why. You gotta look on your face, but I'm gonna tell you why. But it's more important that Detroit win this game tonight so they can get that extra week of rest because Detroit has high amount of injuries on the defense that is going to affect how far they go in this playoffs. Period. And
a lot of injuries. Period.
yeah, so I'm just like, and a lot of their injuries is on defense. They have one injury, major injury on offense that's affecting, and that's Montgomery. And they trying to say that he might be able to come back in the playoffs. But their defense of injuries, boy, they have packed up. Ooh. So if they're trying to make it to the Super Bowl, they need that defense to get as much rest, much healing as possible. Now you play the video games and it take time for you to heal. You know, your Call of Duty. Okay. But
Got power back.
Yeah. So I mean, for them to get to New Orleans for the Super Bowl, they're gonna need this rest. But I just don't see it today, man. I don't Brian Flores' defense has given Golf problems this year. In the first game, and Golf didn't have a good game. It took basically a miracle for them to win. I don't see it, man. I see Minnesota winning this game and Detroit having to go to be the 5 seed, which would put a big hamper on their run to the Super Bowl. Honestly, I say this: if they don't get the number 1 seed, they do not make it to the Super Bowl.
Oh well.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, but I mean, they've been getting the short end of the stick the last couple of years anyway. So,
I mean,
all due to themselves. Not nobody else's fault. No, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. No,
because they had every opportunity to win that game last year in the NFC Championship game. They didn't. And I mean, they played against my Niners, and that was a great game to watch. Stressful for me as a fan, but it was a great game to watch still.
Yeah, how you blow?
I took my pill before the game. Oh, but yeah, they have had opportunities. So I'm just saying that this year if they don't get to where they want to get, it's not necessarily all them executing. Some of it is just, hey, a little bit of bad timing. Because to have that amount of defensive injuries is going to detriment anything. I mean, they're just lucky it didn't happen on offense. Because that's what happened to my Niners this year. They had that many injuries on offense and defense. But this year, I mean, they've been able to offensively stack up points to put themselves in a position to make a run.
Yeah, but and I don't know what's gonna happen.
So we're gonna see what shakes out with these playoff pitchers and everything. And this to make it more clear. Let's say what I said happens and Minnesota wins the game. So it'll put Minnesota at 1. And that will make it to where Green Bay will have to go to Philly. Washington will have to go to the Rams. And Detroit will get Tampa Bay. And crazy thing is, because they're 5, Detroit will have to go to Tampa Bay to play.
That's fine. They can handle business in Tampa Bay.
They can handle business in Tampa Bay, and that would mean Minnesota will be sitting at home waiting. I tell you what, though, that Green Bay Philly matchups will be very interesting. That would be a game that would be very, very interesting. Even the Washington Rams game, it seemed like a lot of points. Don't take the spread. Don't take the spread. You're gonna lose all your money. You're gonna give all that back to MGM.
Hey, ESPN Sports betting.
Okay. Hey, but last night, before we get out of here tonight, hey man, we're gonna talk about one thing real quick.
Okay, just one thing. Let's go.
What's one thing? MVP race, has it changed or still Josh Allen for the win?
I think it's still Josh Allen for the dub.
Okay, I agree, because a lot of people saying if Joe Burrow get his team to the playoff, he's gonna get the MVP.
No, but I also think that the MVP needs to be handed out after the Super Bowl.
No, I don't. Now, if we were talking about college, I would say the Heisman should be handed out after the playoffs, that championship game, in my opinion. But in NFL, before the playoffs, I think the MVP should be handed out before the playoffs. I mean, that's the whole reason why you have a separate MVP
for the Super Bowl.
For the Super Bowl.
I get it, but I mean, it should all be one. Because I mean, how valuable are you if your team still loses? Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. But yeah, Josh Allen for the dub, though. I think he's gonna edge it on out. Yeah,
you can say this. You can say the same thing about some Heisman Trophy winners. Okay.
I don't believe in the Heisman Trophy winner.
Well, you know my thoughts on that. It's rigged anyway. It's a popularity contest, and some would say that the MVP is a popularity contest. Okay, that's just my 2 cents. Mike, closing thoughts for the 2 cents.
Yeah, I need them Lions to win, but at the same time, I think I need them Panthers to win today too, just to shake it up a little bit more. And then the Saints win.
Oh Lord. If the Panthers and the Saints win, it'll be interesting. I can't remember the tiebreakers. But yeah.
There'll be a second line in that mode.
You gonna go down to Burner Street?
No, that's a sore subject. And again, like we talked about earlier, man, like people be vigilant, be mindful, be cautious. Things are happening. People are feeling a certain type of way about themselves and things that are going on. So our condolences to the families of those who lost their lives down there in New Orleans. Speedy recovery for those families who have individuals who were injured. But just please be safe, be mindful, be vigilant, and be careful. That's all I can really say.
Definitely. definitely be careful where you at because world's getting a little crazy. Don't put on there because crazier than normal. Definitely be safe. And if you're traveling down there to the Super Bowl, if you're going down there because your team is there, you're going down there just to be in the atmosphere, and enjoy a good game and just be with the people. Just be careful because the Super Bowl is going to be in New Orleans this year. I've heard that they're doing what I do. They're upping that security event is already usually high. They're upping security now due to the recent events in New Orleans. So it's going to be insane and crazy down there.
Yeah, if you got a speeding ticket and you ain't pay it, don't go. That bench won't find you there.
Oh yeah, that bench were difficult to find you there. Okay, stay at home, be safe. All right. Well, with all that being said, man, look forward to some great football in these playoffs. These playoffs going to be interesting. Um, Knight, man, I gotta say this before we say this. I gotta start about it. This is the first time in the 4 years that we have been doing the show. Okay, that all four of our teams are home for the playoffs. Nobody's team is in the playoffs this year.
I don't have many hopes or aspirations for my team as is the way we started off the season. And like I always say, you handle business when you're supposed to handle business, you ain't got no issue. And we wasn't handling business. So I don't know what your for the 49ers is.
I mean, we had some injuries at the beginning of the season. Probably since week 4 or 5, I was kind of like, ugh, it was iffy. PAT always got high hopes for some reason. Just like Easy. Easy got high hopes. He put all his hopes in that dark room.
Now, I don't think Easy's hopes be high. I just think he be. So,
shout out to Easy and PAT there with the high hopes.
Yeah, he's a little under the weather today.
Yeah.
So
both of them. All right, man. Hey, this is the Blitz package, man. Catch us on all networks, YouTube, Spotify. That's Night. I'm JUS Blaze. Hey, for those good brothers, yo on a J5. We out.